It's no secret that LEGO loves to put little references and Easter eggs in their sets, whether it be references to their own themes, subtle nods to other media, or references to set designers. Themes like Monkey Kid or Creator Expert are full of them. In fact, we've even been seeing old LEGO characters and themes given new life in CMFs and even city stunt bikes over the past few years. And of course, Ninjago is absolutely no exception. The theme and TV show are full of not just references, but concepts and ideas borrowed from decades of pop culture. The first and probably most obvious one has to be the many references to Star Wars. It's no secret that Tommy Andreasen, the creator of Ninjago, is a huge fan of the franchise, and I mean his kids are literally named Luke and Leia for crying out loud. Some aspects of Star Wars bleed into the series, from iconic Star Wars lines like,
"I fear there is a great disturbance in the Force,"
or,
"I have you now."
Themes like father versus son, Garmadon versus Lloyd, though it does seem like Star Wars is returning the favor. Just remember who did the whole wise master turn into a baby plot first, Star Wars fans. But come on, they even used lightsabers to fight the Grundle. Why did they name him that? Oh wait, that's probably another reference. I hope. Grundle was probably meant to be Ninjago's version of Grendel, the beast from the English classic Beowulf, although the real Grendel probably more closely resembled Nimbus. Yeesh. Like most cartoons and TV shows, Ninjago has their own versions of real-life things to avoid copyright. Probably one of the dumbest ones is Sitar Legend, a clear reference to the video game Guitar Hero. Oh, and apparently Ukulele Legend? And of course Chirp, Ninjago's version of Twitter. I can only imagine what kind of crazy arguments go on over there. Of course, I'd be a fool not to mention the absolute emperor of Easter eggs, the Ninjago City Trilogy. There's countless videos out there going over all the little details and references in these masterpieces of sets, so I'll just be sticking to some of my favorites. There's tons of nods to obscure LEGO themes here. My favorite has to be Galador, although I think this suspiciously Nick Bluetooth Happy Meal shaped painting in the Boutique Hotel takes the cake. I'm just happy such a goofy and obscure failure for LEGO has forever been immortalized in one of the best LEGO sets of all time, as well as the show. Of course, Bionicle has had numerous references, with the map of Matanui and a poster for Bionicle G2 of all things. Another one I'm particularly fond of is the ice cream shop Ice Planet from the Ninjago City Gardens. Yummy! Hey, did you know that Ninjago City actually referenced Hidden Side 2 years before the theme even came out? Well, not quite. JB Robotics is actually a reference to the LEGO game Junkbot, which could be where Hidden Side's JB got her name from. The game was also featured as an arcade machine in the Ninjago City docks, right next to Shadow of Ronin. I love this, the fact that such a fan-favorite piece of Ninjago media was able to be put into these sets. I'm crossing my fingers that we'll see some characters or references to the Garmadon comic in sets soon. Finally, a simple one, this portrait of Bruce Lee in Lloyd's bedroom. Speaking of, did you know Wu's Be Water speech from Season 5 that has become iconic in his character development ever since was actually a line from the classic Bruce Lee movie Enter the Dragon?
You put water in a cup.
It becomes the cup. You put water into a bottle, it becomes the bottle.
You put it into a teapot.
It becomes the teapot.
Be water, Mia.
Be water, my friend.
This movie in particular has had a huge influence on Ninjago. Enter the Dragon's plot of a unique cast of skilled fighters heading to a mysterious island to partake in a tournament hosted by Master Chen, Han, with ulterior motives, was what the Hageman cited as their inspiration for the season. The sets for the season hold some pretty clear references as well, with the big temple being named Enter the Serpent. They weren't even trying to be subtle with that one. And Master Chen has a claw weapon resembling Han's iconic claw hand. This one's definitely a stretch, but Skylar's orange outfit may resemble Bruce Lee's iconic jumpsuit? Probably not, but as far as yellow jumpsuits go, could this reference be more obvious? Avatar Harumi is clearly wearing the bride's jumpsuit from Kill Bill, which in turn is a Bruce Lee reference on its own. They didn't even try to be subtle with this one, but honestly, in terms of Harumi and her character, it kind of works. Oh, and not to mention the fact that the sushi chef from the LEGO Ninjago movie pretty closely resembles this dude. Speaking of Prime Empire, it happens to be home to my favorite reference in all of Ninjago, this sticker. It translates to, "Cole, the cake is a lie." One of the most iconic phrases in video games from one of my top video games of all time, Portal. This may be surprising, but Ninjago has actually taken a lot of inspiration from anime in some aspects. Did you know that the Oni Titan was inspired by Attack on Titan? Turns out the Hagemans just finished AOT Season 1 when they were writing Sons of Garmadon. Also, you cannot tell me that Sons of Garmadon wasn't inspired by Akira at all. They literally did the iconic bike standoff scene like twice. Literally, look at Bro. Bro's literally Kilo. You're telling me they made a motorcycle season in a futuristic Asian city and didn't at least take some small inspiration from one of the most influential animated movies ever? Nah, it definitely did. But there's one anime that's been inspiring sets since 2020. One that's been so subtly incorporated, you likely never even noticed if you hadn't seen the anime itself. Tooth Dominoes is relatively new to the LEGO set designing scene, but he's certainly left his mark on Ninjago sets, creating some real fan favorites, like Jay's Golden Dragon motorbike, the Legacy Thunder Raider, and of course, Jay's Thunder Dragon, Evo. And yes, it's a good set. Just because it's not in your intended age range doesn't mean it's bad. I know 4+ sets are more your guys' speed, but come on, don't hate the player, hate the game. Anyways, if there's one thing Tooth Dominoes is known for, it's his big, glorious mechs. And the inspiration behind each and every one of these is quite clear. Just by looking at his pinned tweet on Twitter, Tengen Toppa Gurren Lagann is a clear main inspiration for builds like these, and I'm certainly not one to complain. The show is known for its wild and over-the-top mecha designs, which Neek has clearly been translating into these Ninjago sets. Have you ever looked at the Legacy Titan mech and thought, that kinda looks like a face? Well, that's because it is a face. All of Gurren Lagann's mechs have distinct faces on them, which Neek has subtly been sneaking into his sets, though an intentional one can be seen in the small mech on the front of the Hydro Bounty, which clearly resembles Lagann. I mean, there's no doubt about that one. Even the smaller mechs have little details and nods to the show, like the triangular shape of Lloyd's Hydro mech, which reminds me a lot of Keaton's mech, or arguably the best Legacy set improvement of all time, the little drills on Cole's mech. The Gurren Lagann inspiration really all came together in one set, the Ninja Ultra Combo Mech. This is probably the closest thing we'll ever get to a Gurren Lagann set, and it's clear Neek really designed it with the anime as his guiding inspiration. From the huge, over-the-top shoulder pads to the ring on the top of its head, but most notably the face on its chest. I'm sorry, but that's clearly the iconic Kamina sunglasses on a Ninjago mech, and if it couldn't be more obvious, Simone's iconic massive drills. I wonder how the classic Rock Raider drills would look on this thing. Additionally, Gurren Lagann features the mechs combining to form a one bigger mech. I know, Power Rangers and Voltron also do the exact concept, but given every other clear design choice taken from Gurren Lagann, I'm gonna give it all the credit it deserves. Although coincidentally, Tooth Dominoes did have a part in designing the Voltron Ideas set. Even his most recent mech, Nia's Samurai X mech, has the characteristics of a Gurren Lagann mech. It may not have a big toothy grin in front, but those sharp angles on the chest are enough for me, and I'm willing to count that horn at the top too. There's tons and tons of references and inspirations for Ninjago that I left out of this video, and definitely even more that I've never even noticed, but I want to make it clear. Having references or taking clear inspiration from something doesn't make Ninjago unoriginal, or a copycat of something else. Ninjago is a collaborative project made by many people, all adding their own ingredients to the mix. That ingredient may be Bruce Lee, it may be Gurren Lagann, it may even be AC/DC, but that's just exactly what makes Ninjago, well, Ninjago. It isn't known as that one Star Wars ripoff. It's very distinctly gained its own identity, all due to the creative minds that work on it. And with that, I want to know some clear inspirations or references in Ninjago that you guys have noticed. It could be anything from a sticker in a set, or a line parodying a classic 80s movie. Until next time, see ya. I'm on the set, do the impossible, don't you wanna bet?